Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about NobaraOS 37. The reason why we're going to talk about NobaraOS 37 is because this is a second part to a three-part video. The first part was my review of Big Linux. It claims to be a gaming semi-centric but made for gaming or ability to game on Linux distro out of the box. And of course, we all know that Nobara is a gaming-centric Linux distro right out of the box as well. And so with that, I have basically been asked by a subscriber to do a comparison video of both of them, and so I plan on doing that. And so to do that, I can't do the comparison without kind of re-reviewing NobaraOS. So let's go ahead and do a review of NobaraOS and see what's new, okay? So here it is. I've installed it, and for the purposes of this demonstration video, they're both installed on the same virtual machine, the same amount of RAM and the same amount of processors. That will be Virtual Manager and a Virt Manager. They both have 4 gigs of RAM and 4 cores of my processor assigned to it. So it's basically operating on a older set of kind of CPU architecture of only just having 4 cores and not a lot of RAM, as most people would have with a laptop that they would be wanting to, use it on or whatever. So let's go ahead and punch in my secret password to get in. And this is logging in right now. And I've already kind of logged into it to kind of peruse it and stuff. And this is the first review I did on my channel, which has got like 9,000 views on it, was the Gnome version. This is the KDE version. I just thought I'd do that differently because Big Linux is actually based off of, and so I figured that would be another way of comparing them similar to similar, even though the KDE on Big Linux is heavily customized to look different than the standard KDE, whereas this one is definitely looking just like your standard KDE desktop. The one thing to note is that Nobara is created by Glorious Egg Roll. It's a Fedora 37 base, and then he's added all his quirks to it and his kinks to it and everything else that he added to it to make it a 100% game-centric Linux distribution that you could actually start playing games with out of the box. The first thing that he did is, let me see if we can pull up a terminal and see if, in fact, console has if Neo Fetch is installed. And it is. He did install Neo Fetch from the get-go. So you're looking at the Nobara Linux 3764-bit derivative here that we have. If you notice the kernel, now this is the part that I think is interesting. With this kernel, it's not your standard 6.0 kernel. It's what he refers to as the F-Sync kernel. So he has adjusted the kernel itself at the base level of where he has actually made some improvements. I'm sure it's with CPU scheduling and some other performance enhancements that you could do, and I'm not going to get into that technical level of it, but if you go over to the Gentoo page and read on it, there's like make flags and CMake flags and all kinds of stuff that you could put in that make your operating system extremely optimized for performance or what have you. So I'm sure he's done something similar to that. It's running Bash 5.2, the Plasma is 5.26, and you can tell that I changed the background because, quite frankly, and I'll show you later, the Plasma backgrounds that they have put in for their Plasma desktop environment is, to me, atrocious. It borders on the ugliness of the Manjaro backgrounds. I mean, they're, you know, they're not pretty at all. Something like this is what I have going right now is beautiful, you know, or something more, a little bit more sleek and modern, not avant-garde or whatever you want to call that. I don't know. I guess it's beauty in the eye of the beholder. He's using the K-Win Manager, and the theme is XZen Dark. He's got the Plasma Advita, GTK2. The icons are the Breeze Dark. Console is the terminal of choice. So that's a look at what he has done with this as far as that is concerned. Now, let's go to the web page here. Couldn't it just been a box that you check out? Let's do. Oh, shoot, I misspelled it. It's Nobara. Let's go here. Let's go to their page. Oh, slow down, slow down. Nobara project. And let's see what their release notes say. Okay, so the big fixes they did, they patched it with the cherry pick Zen patches in the kernel, which make the Zinc. And oh, they used the TKG kernel on Arch. That's cool. They also patched OpenRGB. They patched to enable AMD GPU for pre-Polaris cards. They also patched with the Steam Deck support. They patched it with Microsoft Surface support. Linux patches all over the place. They also updated the Mesa drivers, I believe, to 23. The glibs patched with the clone 3 disabled. The Nobara controllers config package provided for easy installation for X1 and XPad Neo controllers, so there's better controller supports for plug and play. The Mutter was patched with X11. NVIDIA also, they did improvements to the NVIDIA for GPU detection and driver auto installation, which I don't have NVIDIA. I have AMD, but when I did have my NVIDIA card, it was kind of glitchy, and I actually had to manually install my own driver. I have read reports in other places, whereas this, once you go into no mode set, once you update it, you do your channel's updates, you boot back out, you go into no mode set, and then restart it, and it will automatically detect your NVIDIA card and install the drivers for it. No problem. SDL2 patch is also fixed for the NVIDIA frame rate issue that was happening. As far as video codecs, a post-installation codec installer asks you, and I can show you about that, to install them. Also, Blender is available with FFmpeg support, which is a H.2.4 render output. DaVinci Resolve also has been fixed, and that is a major part of the reason why they did the NVIDIA thing, because that was helping them do that. Dependencies are installed. Yes, it works easily on a fresh install, so that is cool. OBS-studio has been patched with the browser plugin. It's also been patched with the Vulkan and OpenGL game capture plugins. The available patch in AMD AMF H.264 encoder has been patched into it as well. So basically, he has completely redid OBS for those of you guys who are gaming and streaming, like on Twitch or what have you. It works with all your WebSockets, all your record plugins, all that good stuff. Wine is included in the installation. I don't think it comes with the Wine 8.0. I think you have to upgrade it to that. But yeah, Proton, of course, which he is the creator and maintainer of Proton DB, or Proton GE Edition, which is what he's put in here. Also, Discord, which is a non-proprietary software. He's also built that in there and put it in there. It's got Flatpak repositories are enabled. Nautilus is taken care of. SE Linux is has been replaced with AppArmor, which is way better. RPM Fusion's repos are enabled by default. Steam, of course, is included. Lutris is included. Mango Hut with Go Overlay and GameScope. Now, that's one of the things I want to talk about. The Mango HUD has been improved to their newest and latest, greatest version. That's always a great thing. Tells you your frame rates. It's displayed over of what you're doing as far as GameScope is concerned. Now, GameScope is kind of cool. And the reason why GameScope is kind of cool is because you now, with GameScope being installed on here, have the ability for HDR capability in your gaming. That's right. That's what GameScope does. It is a software that renders out HDR for gaming. That is pretty badass. So Brody Robertson just did a video on that as well, talking about GameScope. So go have a visit on his channel, check him out. He's a huge Linux YouTuber in our world, and he's got really good content too. So yeah, just check him out over there at GameScope, or you can just Google him on YouTube at Brody Robertson. So anyhow, and he'll tell you more about GameScope. But that's a huge improvement into this distribution, included in the installation and updated frequently. So it's got the updaters for them as well. Comes with OnlyOffice. It comes with Cups, Vaporsmith, which was in the last was in the last one, and FFMS2 has been patched to fix compatibility with Vaporsynth. So the inclusion of the RPM Fusion packages. So you got free repository, non-free repository, and you can use them at your content. The Nobara app stream repository, which is the ones that he's created and sort of maintaining for his own purposes, is the actual, like, the Blender, the obs-studio, gstreamer, Vappy, Discord, Telegram, and MPV. So these are the ones that are specific that he's actually coded and made for this distribution specifically. All the other ones come from the standard RPM Fusion repos that he's enabled. So that is a look at the channel log for it. Now, when you launch into Nobara, this is the very first thing that you're welcome with on startup, is this welcome menu. So when you click on it, it tells you, thank you for choosing Nobara. Welcome screen will help you guide through the rough stuff. So the first steps, okay, this is for updating your system. Installing patented media codecs. This is what he was talking about. When you click launch, it didn't launch, sorry. For the NVIDIA drivers, if you click launch, oh, it was checking for codecs. That's why. Yeah, it was. Sorry, it does. I forgot. There's no actual notification or communication from it. It does it in the background. And if it's present to want to install one, it'll offer to install it. And there is no NVIDIA GPU on here because I actually have AMD on. So now to install more apps from the Software Center. Now let's go ahead and click that. And it's going to launch the Discover Software Center. And of course, it's your full suite of KDE-centric applications. If you go here into settings, though, you can see these are all the repos and hubs that are enabled. Like he's got Flatpak enabled, he's got LVS for firmware, he's got Nobara 37 KDE Plasma, Open 864 from Cisco, which is the debug side of it, but he's got the regular one there. He's got all of these RPM Fusions enabled here. Let's see, for 37 as well. All of them are there. The debug, all of them, the non-free and the free are enabled. So that'll tell you exactly which repos he has here. And if you need to turn any of them off to do anything, you can certainly go there to turn them off. But you'll have to re-enable them through command line. Also, he has the ability to install web apps. Now, one of the things I'm going to tell you about web apps is, this is if you want to add one. So you would just simply type in like http://youtube.com. Oh, sorry, www. youtube.com. Oh, my bad. Let's copy this, put it down here, and just call this YouTube. Now we can click OK. So now we have that. And it should, I always thought it would, and it's opening up Firefox, which is containerized. and it's going right to YouTube. See? And there it is. Okay. So, and there it is. It's at YouTube right now. And that's how simple it is to do that with web apps. Now, one of my viewers commented on how web apps is actually uses a lot of RAM. Well, that's because you're literally opening a containerized instance of your browser. As you saw, it told me that Firefox was already running. Okay, now when you do that, that automatically takes memory because it's just like Firefox. When you open up Firefox, it takes a lot of memory. So do not be surprised if your memory load increases whenever you're using web apps. And if you have a number of them open to do different things, then you are definitely going to be gobbling up a lot of RAM. That's just a public service announcement there for you guys. So understand that about web apps. So then that's under the first steps. Now, under recommended additions, these are the ones that he was talking about. That if you want to install, you just click install. I've already installed Kdenlive, and I installed OBS Studio. Now, I believe these are the ones that are hosted on his repo because all 4 of these programs were listed on that release notes page. So you're more than likely going to get those straight from his repo. And these are the ones that are automatically optimized and customized for this distribution. For optional steps, you can install proprietary AMD drivers, which will click launch. It's probably doing the search in the background, and there is none there. For the Xbox One drivers, if you click this, it'll install the Xbox One drivers. Xbox One wireless controller require driver and firmware updates in order to function. So let's do yes. Boom. So it's doing it. Now I'm going to give it my password. And it is installing as we speak right now in the background. Now, for the install the Proton GE, which is his version of Proton, you click launch. And let us see what's going on here. Ah, there we go. Proton install for... Wait a minute. Let me go ahead and close this out. I'm going to pause this while this is running because I don't want to do... Oh, well, there. It just finished. So it's doing what I need to do. It's adding me to that group. Okay. Okay. And boom. Now it is done. It just installed all the Xbox One controller support. It requires a restart, but I'm not going to restart it. So now let's launch the Proton Glorious Edition roll. And let's see. Okay. Cancel. There's 0 active downloads. Okay, so there is nothing to add here for me. So I will just, it's right now running the Proton up Q2.76. So that's cool. So we don't need to worry about that. Look and feel. Under this, you can install your login manager. You can choose your login manager. You can get new themes and icons. If I click this, sorry, you have reached the problem. It could be because I'm in a Vert manager on this one. Let's launch see, in here you can choose between which display manager you want to choose from, which is nice. It's giving you the GDM, which is the Gnome version, and Light DM alternatives that you can choose for us. But I'm going to stay with the SDDM. For troubleshooting issues, these are places where you can go to figure out if you have some issues on some systems, system issues that you can use to implement and prepare. Also, join the community. You can join his Discord server through here, or go into the unofficial subreddit. And you could also do contribution to Nobara, which is always a nice. So those, I've pretty much covered the core components of what's new to Nobara. which is the game scope, the game HUD being updated, and also it's the Fedora 37. He's added more of the repositories in it. Also, the fsync kernel has been updated and patched as well with a bunch of other nice stuff. But let's go ahead and do a really quick overview of what it looks like in the KDE version. It's got your standard KDE version app launcher, which has all your favorites. It's got also the Nobara package manager, which let's open that up and take a look at it really quickly. It's downloading all the repository metadata right now. Basically, it's updating it's checking the mirrors. Let's go ahead and pause the video. Oh, it finished. Every time I get ready to go pause, it finishes. So what I like is how he's also added the rounded corners in the compositor. So he must be using some type of PyCom. Or it's Wayland, and he's rounded the corners. I think it's Wayland is what it is. Yeah, he uses Wayland. So this is packages available. obs-studio, which is the Nobara app stream. This is the Nobara version of it, which is, I believe, what I have installed. For groups, history, install packages, acmod, flex, the kernel right here, the fsync kernel. So yeah, this is his package manager for his repository. I believe if we go to system, there's a discover, which is the Dolphins or the KDE software center for utilities. Oh, DNF Dragora right there. So it's got the DNF Dragora installed, which is the one that connects to the actual Fedora software center. So he has that installed. So anyhow, that was a look at his package manager, and he has his right here on the start menu, the pinned taskbar. So for favorites, that's in there. Of course, there's Discover, Dolphins, the file manager, and it uses Firefox. I always like to look at Firefox to see what version they're on because everybody uses such different versions of Firefox. So let's go to help. And actually, I'm not even a Firefox user. I use Brave browser, but because I like it, that's why. And it's version 1.8, 108. So it is a newer derivative of the actual Firefox browser. So that is cool. Let's see, for administration, you've got the DNF Dragora, he's got Firewall installed, and of course the Nobara package manager. For development, you have Kate, Qt5, dbus viewer, the GCN Splot, GCNS calc, nodes, and view. For games, it comes with the Go overlay already installed. Which is basically it's a GUI for your Vulkan driver managers and drivers. It's got Lutris installed already. It's got Proton Up Qt, which I told you I already had it installed, and it's got Steam already installed. For graphics, you've got Inkscape, Ocular, and Gwenview. For internet, of course, you've got Firefox, KDE Connect, KDE Connect SMS. KNet Attach, which is a folder wizard, Steam, and of course the web apps we looked at. I already showed you how to do that. For multimedia, you have Eliza, Camuso, Kdenlive, OBS. Now, Kdenlive, when I used Fedora 36 for a while there, this is definitely much better. It's actually themed and following the actual system theme, whereas the other one that I had, 36, it did not follow the system theme. I had enabled dark because I prefer dark, and it stayed bright as hell right here in this window and in this window. So it was kind of strange as to why it was broke that way, but they seem to have gotten it fixed. As far as OBS is concerned, let's go to that and open that up and see what version of OBS it is. I should be like 29. Help about. And it is 29. So there we go. OBS, this is what you will be using for your streaming for Twitch, or if you want to do YouTube, yourself, like, record like I do. This is it. This is what I use. So anyhow, so that's nice that those are nice, up to date. And of course, that OBS is the one from his repository, which has got a bunch of plugins patched into it right off the bat. It uses Pavu for your volume control. For Office, it has only Office installed. For settings, you have Open Tablet and System Settings, which System Settings is where you go to adjust every single setting under the sun in your desktop environment for KDE, from appearance to workspace behaviors, management, shortcuts, startup and shutdown, search, of course, your KDE wallet, all these things. Also, your connections and your display and monitor right here goes here, and you can adjust your resolutions. It's just got everything. Also, if you go to appearance or click the home, click the home, you're welcome with this, where you can change for global themes, also animation speeds, wallpapers, and more appearance. Also, the common packages that people use for the most part are there. So that is a look at the KDE standard system settings. So he didn't add much as far as look and feel goes to Nobara, which he didn't do the last time either. What he did do was completely 97% of it was completely under the hood. So those are things that you're not going to actually see until you actually perform, do game performances on it, like play a game on it or what have you. So it doesn't much matter what the front looks like, as long as the game runs, because that's really what this distribution is about. It isn't meant for anything other than gaming and maybe some content creation, because sometimes gamers, or sometimes YouTubers will play a game and do that for a little bit while they're streaming. Anyhow, that is just a real quick, rough relook at Nobara 37. Tell me what you guys think. So tell me what you guys think about it. If you know about something that I somehow omitted, or you feel that should be highlighted, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. Also, we've broken 1,000 subscribers. I have a Patreon as well, and I would like to thank him. His name is Mislav Krelza. I hope I didn't butcher that, Mislav. I really appreciate your support. If you guys feel like joining him and not letting him be the lone channel supporter, please visit me over my Patreon. Thanks for supporting and watching the channel. Thanks for all that you guys do. Y'all stay safe in what you do, and you guys keep on Linuxing. Have a great day.